This is the video for the metals, nonmetals, and metalloids lab, and we have this table for you to fill out. Some of these things your teacher might end up doing as a demo, and some of them you are going to do. For the appearance, what you want to do is have at least 2 words down there. You want to have whether something is shiny or dull, the color, but I think what also be helpful is if you include what the form of the solid is. So you have something like this compared to something that might be more like this. So whether you want to use the word powder or crystalline or however you want to do it, but you want to classify those things according to appearance. The next column is result of crushing. You really only have 2 words to choose from there. You have brittle or malleable. So this is the one where you might end up having your teacher might do this as a demo. If I take this piece and hit it with a hammer, for example, all I'm going to do is flatten it out or change the shape of it. Where another example is what I have over here. If I take this and hit it with a hammer, that's what would be considered brittle, where you break it into a lot of little pieces. The next one is conductivity. And this is another one that might be done as a demo because we don't have too many conductivity testers around. So what you would do is turn that on, and for example, if you touch it to a piece like this is an open circuit, so the light is not lighting up. If something conducts electricity, it closes the circuit and this light would light up. So for this sample, this is not causing that light to light up, so this would be a non-conductor. Where if you have something like this, and you touch it to those 2 prongs, that light is lighting up very bright. So this one conducts electricity. That is a conductor. The next 2 on the paper are reacting with hydrochloric acid and reacting with copper 2 chloride. These are ones that you are definitely going to do. And really you're looking for, does it react or doesn't it? But you also want to make some notes on there. Is it a color change? Is it a formation of a gas? Anything like that. So for example, if you have a powder, you want to fill the well about 1/3 of the way full, so that's less than half. You don't want it overflowing into any other well plates because that's going to throw off your experiment. And then if you have a piece of metal like this, what I think works well is if you have part of it submerged and then part of it out of the liquid. So when you have the liquid in there, what you want to do, and this is the copper 2 chloride, add a couple drops just to cover the solid. And then it might take a minute or 2 for that to react. And do the same thing with this one. Add a couple drops. And what I would do is leave some of it out of the liquid, so then you can compare before and after if you have to. You can use your forceps and take that out and compare the 2 halves of it. So you want to do, don't just write yes or no on the paper. If it's yes, say what happened. Like this one is obvious what's going on. You see some bubbling, but if you're able to pull that out with forceps, you would also see there's a color change going on in there. And one of the things that's good with this lab is if it reacts with one liquid, it's going to react with the other. But we want you to test with both liquids because sometimes one of the reactions might be very hard to see. And if you just do one liquid, you might be missing one of those reactions. So still test with both liquids. When you're done with these solids, this should go in the metal trash can. So what you do is take one of the squirt bottles, walk the well plate up to the trash can and spray this stuff in there. But don't throw the well plate out because other classes are going to need that. Now the classification part, the part you're going to be graded on, you have 3 options: metals, nonmetals, or metalloids. Metals, and the paper tells you on the back, metals tend to be shiny, so they have luster, they tend to be malleable, they conduct electricity, they react with hydrochloric acid and copper 2 chloride. Nonmetals are the opposite. They tend to be dull, brittle, they do not conduct electricity, and they tend not to react with hydrochloric acid or copper 2 chloride. Metalloids are the interesting ones, though. You're going to get a mix of properties. So, for example, if you have something that is brittle, like a nonmetal, but conducts electricity like a metal, that might be a metalloid then, because you're getting something that's partly metallic and partly non-metallic in property. So that's what you want to pay attention to, and you can talk it over with your partner to make sure you have the right classifications.